Hey guys, good morning, what's up? I'm Yalik, and today is Thursday, and that means War Factory. But first, just finished on clearing most of my map. I've got one guy I'm probably going to want a little damage boost for later, so I'll save that for next op hit. But in the meantime, I get this guy. I guess that's Lyodine? Or is that I don't know, Iodine? Whatever. Anyway, this is a 5 ice base, and just for the record, there's one there. There's another one there, it's boosting. There's another one there. There's... He's got his statues were a pain in the neck. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And where's the 5th one? Oh, God. It's in there somewhere. If you feel the need, you can go ahead and look for it. Anyway, 5 ice, one of them boosting. And he makes one of the classic mistakes you see in this game, but usually you see this in like the 400 level of VP, not the 1200 level of VP. This guy stashes a bunch of free GBE to the back of the base, and since we have these handy little deployable turrets, I chuck one in there because he has mega health on this base. I'd already failed the first time, and by the time I get done barding these two towers down here, shock launcher, rocket launcher, I'm down to like 35 GBE or so. So I figured, what the heck, I'll throw this guy back here. Now, first thing I noticed when I did that, and like the first minute of this attack is just this thing sitting here and shooting, I threw it here into this corner where nothing could get it except for this one mortar. And I figured the mortar wouldn't do that much damage to it, but notice that it auto-targets the mortar. So that's pretty cool. It had buildings closer to it, but it went for the defense in the area and removed that first. And so basically what I just did is sat here for a minute and waited. This cost 5 GBE to deploy, and I waited until it destroyed its second building, which gave me 3 GBE for each. So at that point I was positive for GBE, it was +1. And then for the rest of this attack, and we can speed this up, for the rest of this attack, this thing just sits back here, gaining me free GBE on the way, which is good because I need it, because I don't have any troop health, and these buildings have very, very high health. So, we'll see where it gets to at the end of the attack. The first time I did this, I screwed up. Actually, this time I screwed up too. I meant to flare the blaster, and I flared the shield instead, so I had to correct right there. The first time I also made a mistake. Very similar mistake, except it was I flared to the blaster and realized then I needed to flare over to the machine gun up here, and I think this guy is done now. And this attack is pretty much over. I've got critical mass over there, and I'm about to blow him up. But, yeah, so this thing sits back here in the corner. 2 of these buildings, well, one in partial in these buildings is just getting back the GB it cost me to throw this, but then 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings, that's 12 GBE plus the extra from the first 2. I was +1 there, so +1, +12, +13 GBE, which makes a huge, huge difference when you've got somebody who's got a situation like that going on. See if we, oh, there it is. There's the 5th one. Up here right behind the HQ. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And poof, down he goes. But yeah, classic mistake. Don't do that. Don't leave your... I mean, you see people stash a bunch of GBE buildings. That's like level 15 stuff. Before people get critters, which is I think level 19. Just not good. Anyway, distraction. So back to War Factory. So we are going to load up. I think I've not looked at it yet myself for today, but I saw a quick preview yesterday. So we're going to want Universal Remote, and we're going to want Zuka, I believe, and let's go have a look at that. Yeah. Spoiler alert, we've got lasers today. That's fun. Now, these 3 are not so much of a concern. These over here are kind of a pain. And no shield So this is definitely one that could solo, but you got a lot going on here. Let's just say that. So I'm thinking a little bit of cleanup work would be in order. Ideally, let's see. So we can always use Sparky to remove some rockets, and if we're standing somewhere over here, we'd want 2 of them gone, don't necessarily need the 3rd. Would love to have more place to stand because of that, you know, where that machine gun is. We're going to have to clear mines there anyway, so maybe barting that out. This over here is going to take a shock regardless. That over there would be a shock. That's all a shock. That's a shock. So we've got, if we remove 2 rockets and that machine gun, we're looking at, just to be clear, one more time, 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks, 4 shocks. We're looking at a 4 shock AZ rush. And we're going to go ahead and try that. So 1 Bard attack, maybe 2, and don't screw up your shocks, which is pretty much always the case. And always the challenge, especially if you're a Yalak. I will say, like, that is one of the harder things in this game for me. I'm not naturally gifted with great hand-eye coordination, I don't think. I'm going to try to guide her a little bit more, so we're going to put her right in there. So for me, you know, like, I used to have trouble getting 4 shocks cleanly, and that's pretty regular now, but I'm still not. Let's see, she should default to that. We're good. I'm, you know, still 6 shocks. I have to practice beforehand. I cannot see myself ever pulling off like an 8 shock maze or a 10 shock chimera. It's just, yeah, honestly, I just get confused. There's too much going on visually on the screen for me at that point, and too much movement, and I swear to God, I'm close to being impaired in that regard. As in, like, having a disability. And I laugh, but it's not really joking. It's actually quite close to that level. Tested for it, which is a weird thing to, but yeah. So, you know, I mean, and we might as well get rid of that 1 machine gun while we're at it. And I think that's pretty much all we can do here. We're gonna retreat, and then we'll check on the status of things later. Yeah, not great hand-eye coordination, not great visual spatial reasoning, I suppose. So for me, like, figuring out getting the shocks down is really a huge challenge. 4 is not usually too bad, however, the precision matters quite a bit here, because if you miss just a little bit on one of these shocks, you're going to get toasted by a laser. Let's recap. That's an easy shock over here. We've got fairly easy shock over here with the flamethrowers and the laser. We've got a pretty easy shock over here, and then 1 right on the HQ. Probably some critters out front because of the second Doom cannon. And critically, as ever, don't peek. Alright. Probably an extra smoke on the shoreline because of lasers. So we're going to switch to brick, and I think we can rush that. Now, I might make a separate video since I'm already at 10 minutes. I probably will do this differently, as always, on my middle account. The 49-ish, I want to say now. Yeah, there will be a different approach there. Because Not that it can't do the 4 shocks, but it would be easier just to continue removing things. Alright. I think we're good. And this could be, well, I think we're good, but then again, this could be really bad. So we'll find out. 1, and 2, and 3. Concentrating, don't peek. There goes the delay. Cool. So, even earlier on those shocks, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and I feel like I missed something. That's always a bad feeling. I guess... Wait for it. GB for the win. I don't even know what I missed on the shocks. Had to have been one of the machine guns because it wasn't a laser because I was alive. Yeah, see, in that moment where it gets, I can sit there and plan the shocks beforehand, but then it gets down to, you know, that critical maybe second on the smoke timer. You're at about 3/4, that's when things start to happen. Yeah. And then you just panic and throw shocks wildly, hoping for the best. Go back and check that out, actually. Blah. By the way, there's like, was it one girl over here? Just decides we're going to go the other way around a crate. Yeah, 3. Wonderful. So, slow that down. Yeah, right around there. Get the critters out. And we had a peek down there too. Got the lasers. Actually landed that one okay, so it was machine guns right here. This one needed to be a little bit tighter in on the HQ, which is actually a good thing because machine guns and Doom cannons are bad, but not as bad as lasers and rocket launchers, or shock launchers. And apparently we missed that shock launcher too. That shock should have gotten that, so that was not fantastic. But, GBE for the win. Alright, well that was messy. But there it is, down that goes. So that's the, you know, straight up rush approach. I think just for fun I'll go do a separate video and do how I would do this with the sort of the poor boy way. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. You can always laugh at my inability to throw my shocks right. That's got to make everyone feel better about themselves, and that is War Factory for today. Take care.